Yo, welcome to a new series. I will play towards 2500 and starting from a really low rating, 871. So there's a lot of work to do. And we're playing the King's Indian. And the King's Indian is, for me, also a little bit of a learning curve. We're going to play g6. We normally play d4, d5. And for the London, we play c5, really aggressive line. However, we're just going to play a King's Indian setup. Like Levy told us, you can play it on every move. And therefore, I should have gone maybe castle first. Now you develop the bishop, the knight, and your castle. Your king is safe. Before we move on to the video, I wanted to ask you for one thing. Please subscribe to my channel. It would help me a ton and I can produce way more content for you guys. And now you have a lot of choices to go with. I'm not the best with the King's Indian, but that's okay. It is just putting principles to work. We can develop the knight first. You can go here, but maybe this is a move. He's playing a little bit aggressive, except for this move. I'm gonna play e5 maybe, takes, and then he has two attackers. So I like c5 a lot. c5, if he continues, we can play e6. And therefore, we are playing c5. We're striking in the center. The golden rule is to occupy the center. And it's most of the time with the center pawns, obviously. However, it can also done with c5, because on the side you are attacking something. Now we can take this pawn, and he has one move. He can take back with his pawn. If he takes back with the knight, we have e5. And e5 is already losing on the spot. So on this rating level and a little bit further, it is nice to see that he has only one move, and that's taking with the pawn. So let's see if he sees this move. If he takes with the knight, which he does, was kind of expecting already. Before you're getting really excited and win a piece, you have to see all the moves, right? If he takes, we take, then we're up a bishop for a pawn. That's great. If he can he move maybe his knight towards my queen? Let's say, for example, if here was a pawn and this was not there, he could play knight to here, attacking my queen. I have to move the queen, and suddenly you can move the bishop. However, I don't see a way to save both pieces. So we're going to play e5, and now we're going to win a piece. Let's see what our opponent does. We can also play knight here to attack here. This is maybe a good move. Maybe even the best move, I don't know. Takes, and go here. But we will develop. He continues here. That is not a move. However, we can just take. He has to move the bishop. And now we're opening the file for the rook. We're definitely going to play knight to c5 with a tempo. This is a pin. We can get rid of it by playing here. But I prefer to play knight to here. He has maybe b4 in the end. Moving his bishop towards, maybe go back. Let's go for it. He has b4 after this, so maybe we can play a5 to prevent b4. And then he has to prepare with a3. Then he can play b4, takes. Then we can take the queen. And it's going to be all good. We're up a whole piece. And the pawns are doubled. However, it's not that big of a deal. It's towards the center, so it might be advantage for us. We can also go here. But he defends the square there, right? We're going to play the bishop move. Or he's going to play b4. And if you can see, the knight is dominated by the bishop. So both moves are dominated by the bishop. That's pretty strong. So b4 is maybe a really good move after this. So let's go for a5 to prevent b4. If he goes here, we can just take. He's castling. I really want to get rid of this pin, and then we can maybe start an attack. We also can play here and then bishop here to go here. Is that a good move? Bishop eyeballing g2. Looks fine to me. Not sure if it's fine. We can check in an engine later. But it's most of the time just principles moves. Putting a bishop on b7 when the king is on g1. It's quite a nice idea. He occupies the square twice. And I am occupying the square. He might even can go here. But he's already weakening his king side, right? Now we will... He can go here. But then we take the bishop. But he can take. We have to take with the bishop because this is hanging. If you push a pawn, you have to expect that something is hanging. You cannot move back. So you have to visualize that there are two pawns. And suddenly the pawn is hanging on here. So if it was a king, he can take first with the check, for example, and then take here. But we're going to play h6 anyway. Looks fine to me. This bishop is not really bad. It's quite annoying. But if he takes, we're going to take with the rook. Then we're going to play bishop b7 anyways. Yeah. This is a little bit of a not calculated it through. The knight, for example, I can just move my queen. It's not even a threat, but I can take here. Take and then take here. Or I'm going to take towards the center. He can take, and I can take back with a knight. So I can take this first. Then he can take, and then we have this. We will take the knight. Taking with a bishop is not ideal. He should take with a pawn. However, the pawns are doubled. A lot of people will not go for this. However, now he's blocking the g6 pawn, and I can just take here. He can go here maybe. But I will go here anyways and pinpoint this. So bishop b7, still we have to develop, right? We're up 6 points of material, but we're still going to develop. Not to a6 because of b3, or maybe here. He can defend it quite easily. We're going to play bishop b7. Bishop b7 is still towards the g2 square. Now we're going to go here. He can double. But I'm not really scared of that. Do I have a little bit of a tactic? Because my bishop is not... I can maybe, for example, here. Activating your rook is not a bad idea. Then we can play maybe d5. Takes, takes, takes. Takes with a knight. Looks okay. He doesn't have to do anything. But if he doesn't do anything, the weak pawn, he can attack. Because in chess, most of the time, if you don't know what to do, you want to attack a weakness. So for example, this is weak, this is weak. I can put my rook on c8 just to attack a weakness. And with one move, this is a semi-open file. When there are two pawns on the same file, it's just, I'm not sure what it's called. However, when there's one pawn gone, you can play rook c8, and that's a principled move, is to put a rook on a semi-open file or an open file. And then suddenly he has to do something about it. However, b3 is quite a solid move. So what I think is putting a knight here. I'm attacking the queen, and I'm winning a... Or I'm going to go here, takes, or I'm going to take with a knight. If you're going to take, I'm going to take with the bishop. Not with the queen. I don't have to do that. And if he is considering this, I can just take the queen. So it's a little bit of a discover attack. I'm attacking the queen. And he is just thinking, I can trade, and it's all good. However, his queen is hanging, which is not good. He can attack here, but we have this intermezzo check. And he has to do something about it. He can move his queen, but I'm just going to take anyways. If you're going to take, I'm going to take. And now I can just take the bishop. Now we're up 11 points of material. Maybe we should activate this bishop. He is holding on to dear life. Are we gonna defend this? We might as well. If he's gonna take, we can just take. And then you can see already that it is a very solid. And how do you get this bishop away? So now it's really instructive to not do anything. If he's gonna take, I'm gonna take and solidify my bishop. And my bishop is pretty fine over here. So I'm not gonna do anything about it here. I'm gonna play g4. I'm gonna sacrifice a pawn. I have 3 minutes, by the way. I should have hurried up a little bit. If he's gonna push, I'm gonna take. Probably, it's a little bit annoying, to be honest. But yeah, I can also play here. The point of g4 is to open it up. So there's a diagonal to checkmate him. However, it's also opening up the bishop. So for example, we can now move the bishop maybe. Is that an option? He can defend, but we also can reinforce this. We will probably play bishop f6, king g7, and then rook h1. And that's a checkmate threat. And you have to do something about it. And we can win something, I guess, hopefully. And now you have more pieces. The king is quite unsafe because of g4. And now you really want to go for checkmate. A lot of people will just fall and collapse under the pressure. He's already going for that. I can go for this, maybe. All right, how do we do this? We can take this pawn, by the way, attacking the rook and threatening checkmate. That sounds nice. If he pushes this pawn, it's still checkmate. But he can probably defend. But then we have rook f8. So this rook can also not move. Now our pieces are really working together. Maybe this is a move. Yep, and he blunders it. First of all, he misses that. He probably thinks that I'm taking a pawn. However, the point is that if there's not a pawn on g4, I might as well play queen g4 anyways. So it's also really instructive that it's sometimes nice to play the move anyway. If you kick out a bishop, for example, on h6 or a6 or whatever, and it goes back, sometimes it's attacking with a piece or whatever. So you kick it away towards a certain square. However, you have to check the square, right? And now it's checkmate. Really instructive game, really fun game to play. We can quickly analyze it. We don't need really an engine for it to pinpoint all the little mistakes, because I'm not a perfect player on a King's Indian. But you don't have to be. That is fine. This is already a move, a little bit of an advanced move, I guess. You have to see, I can take with a knight, I can take with a pawn. Doing nothing is a little bit weird, I guess. However, taking with a pawn is perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. You have 4 against 3. Maybe a little bit, 4 against 3. It's perfectly fine. If you look at it in engine, it's a little bit better for black. And this is just a desperado. And now it's quite easy to continue. a5, it's the best move. So b4 was indeed really strong. You can just take, you can win on multiple occasions. Bishop b7, and it's not even the best move, it's the 4th best move. However, for a human perspective, you're developing pieces. You should really develop pieces. Rook a7 is a move, yeah. Just play bishop b7 and it's all good. And now you can take, and he is just missing the point that I don't even want this pawn. I want to attack the queen. And then queen e2, and it's perfectly fine. Queen e2, queen e1, yeah, because of the fork maybe. And it's already quite an annoying game. Very good game, the first game in the series, and we will continue on to the next. Bye.